Welcome to Berwin, Illinois, a centennial city with a proud heritage, a center of education and progress, a city of homes and families, a city of beautiful parks and the finest recreation programs and facilities, the very best in safety and security and sound city government. Welcome to Meeting with the Mayor with Mayor Robert J. Lovero.
Good evening. Welcome to this edition of Meeting with the Mayor. My name is Robert Lovero. I am the mayor of the city of Berwin, and I welcome everybody out there in TV land once again to this presentation that we have for you tonight. This evening I have the pleasure of presenting Chief James Ritz. He's been the chief here in Berwin for approximately 5 months, and I would like to welcome him to Berwin by giving you a little of what I hear about Chief Ritz prior to his employment here at the city of Berwin. Everywhere I go, everybody that's in law enforcement or in government around the communities has said to me that I landed a great person here. In fact, many people were looking for you, Chief Ritz, to be available when they were looking for chiefs. So I'm glad that we landed Chief Ritz here in Berwin, and I would like to introduce you, the viewing public, to Chief Ritz.
Thank you very much, Mayor, and thank you very much for the kind words. It's an absolute pleasure to have been considered by your administration to go through the selection process and be selected to serve as the City of Berwin Chief of Police. I had my prior experience of 22 years of working with the Lyons Police Department. I had the pleasure of working with many of the officers on joint investigations and personally knowing a lot of the officers growing up in this area, and I can sit there and tell you from my perspective and having a chance to work here for the last 5 months, the city of Berwin is blessed with an outstanding group of men and women who served the city of Berwin.
Now, Chief, you graduated from Morton West High School here in the community, did you not?
That's correct.
And how many years ago was that?
Long time ago. But for the honorary class of J. Sterling Morton class of 1977.
So you're very well familiar with the city of Berwin.
Yes, I began that probably in about 6th, 7th grade when we started playing Berwin Cicero Junior football. So I've had a lot of ties with the community and really understanding the values, the community values, and the family-oriented city that is Berwin.
Now, your previous employment with the Village of Lyons, you said, was for 22 years?
22 years, correct.
And were you able to work along with the Berwin police officers at that time in your capacity as a Lyons commander? Yes,
on many occasions, and all, build up that great relationship with the city of Berwin and the Berwin Police Department with that. Many joint investigations.
You had some other law enforcement experience between Lyons and becoming chief of Berwin, did you not?
I went when I left Lyons. I went into the corporate world with FedEx with a job opportunity into that, and then. Seeing with the corporate that wanted to get back into the law enforcement and the profession that I know and love the best.
And you recently were with what?
I worked with the Fraternal Order of Police, with the Labor Council, working with contract negotiations through all the law enforcement agencies with the FOP and many of the municipalities.
So you've got an extensive administrative experience in law enforcement besides street experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You also have attended, obviously, numerous classes at FBI academies with respect to furthering your law enforcement experience. Can you expound on some of those?
I was sort of dedicated to education and training, and back in 1993, I got my first graduate degree from Lewis University in criminal social justice. I was the first one to apply to attend the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia, which is a 3-month law enforcement executive management program, and I was fortunate to be considered and accepted on that, where they say less than 0.5% of all the law enforcement officers across the country get an opportunity to attend, so I was grateful for that. I took the credits that I earned through this executive management program to attend DePaul University, and I got a graduate degree in 2004 in public service management.
Were you also an instructor in law enforcement classes?
Yes, I've been teaching at Morton College in Cicero for almost going on 20 years, and I also taught with a company out of Connecticut called PowerPhone, where they teach critical incident management, crisis communications, where I've had the pleasure of going around the country and teaching to administrators, city officials, police officers, communications officers in regards to domestic violence, homeland security, suicide intervention through there. And then I teach with a graduate program out of a college in New Jersey where I teach leadership and organizational management.
So in this day and age, when the communities and the nation are so concerned about homeland security, especially when it comes to the National Incident Management certifications, you're pretty well prepared.
You would think so, but that's what your training is, preparing for something that happens. And, coming in, that's one of the big things I'm trying to stress through here is training. And, yeah, we had a lot of National Incident Management System and preparedness for, as they say, it's not when another incident's going to happen, but, not if one's going to happen, but when.
When. With respect to your training philosophies, I know that since you've been here, you've tried to get the training of the Berwin policemen up to snuff, let's say. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us what you're doing along those lines?
Well, coming in, sitting back and having the pleasure over the last 3-4 months to sit back, observe, and assess of the operations, and again, the wonderful operations that go on here, and trying to get all the officers and supervisors involved with department operations and having to say, I started a number of committees, and one of them is a training committee, because training's a full-time position in a department this size, and we have 6 officers where Division Commander Mike Samaglia, who's in charge of training, oversee to make sure everybody meets their certifications and qualifications throughout the department, whether it's statewide or federally mandated through programs like NIMS.
And that training not only provides the residents with a more qualified officer on the street, but also helps the city limit its liability. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the priorities coming in, on assessing what we have here is updating the policy manual. And as being an attorney, that's the first thing you're going to get questioned on if there's any type of civil litigation of what your policy and procedures are in regards to the situation. And to have extensive and detailed policies in place, that's a protection for the city, for the department, and also the individual officers involved.
So that's a task you've undertaken since you've been here, because we haven't had an updated policy manual for quite some years. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'm hoping to have, it was going to be a 6 months process on this, and we're right on target to target January 1st for completion of the manual, and also it includes a daily training bulletin where every time the officers log on to the computer, it's a short little review of a portion of the manual, and they take a test that shows that they are versed in use of force or our police pursuits or any of the different operations throughout the department.
Now, administratively, what other initiatives have you brought forward here in the police department?
Besides updating the policy manual, which we have, because that was going to be a process, again, of a 5 to 6 month process, we've reviewed and updated our use of force policy. We've reviewed and updated our internal affairs investigations policy. I just submitted a policy yesterday on handling critical use of force incidents with officer-involved shootings to prepare our officers when and if they were involved in a use of force situation, where we go over the guidelines and what to do, what not to do, and what the supervisory duties are and division commanders' duties are in regards to that. And that's where my focus and emphasis on training is to have the officers prepared with that. So that's some of the tip of the iceberg of what we're doing administratively, at least on policy-wise, and coming in with my management philosophy geared towards community-oriented policing strategies and philosophies. We implemented our BerwinPoliceDepartment.com website, and that now gives us a feel out to the community to see how we're doing with surveys. It's a work in progress and hitting the tip of the iceberg on it, but it has all the forms on it, what we do as a department, and again, getting the citizens' input on that with many areas where we look at, and they can involve with social networking sites and Facebook and Twitter. And the thing I'm most proud of on that is what they've worked on for a long time, Deputy Chief Drury and Sergeant Fitzgerald,